What's up, my central unit? Is the central man here. This is gonna be a bit of a video marathon on this channel because it's Christmas Eve. We've got about 24 hours until Christmas Day. I'm gonna do a footballing video. So, we're gonna talk about Arsenal, about this decade. This decade is nearly at an end, known as the 2010s. Arsenal in this decade is the worst. The worst decade, I don't know, for a very long time. Also had good decades. 80s was okay. Yeah, they won the league in '89 against Liverpool. They won the League Cup. But I think the best decade has to be the '90s. In the '90s they won the league title twice. The first division title, their first Premier League title. They won the FA Cup twice, the League Cup, and they won a European trophy. If you don't know, maybe talk about the younger fans know, Arsenal won a European trophy known as the European Cup Winners' Cup way back in 1994. And let's go into another decade known as the 2000s. The '90s was good under both George Graham and Arsene Wenger, and then it had another good decade. The 2000s. The two Premier League titles. They went the whole season unbeaten, winning FA Cups 3 times and reaching the finals of the Champions League, and that was basically the end of Arsenal's boom period. Fast forward of this decade, it's their worst. I understand they moved to a new stadium, moved to Highbury, to the Emirates. I understand that, but it's the worst. They went a whole decade. This is Arsenal's first decade without challenging or even winning the league since the '60s. They won league titles in four different decades. The '70s, the '80s, the '90s, and the 2000s. This is their first decade. They went the whole 10 years. Although they haven't won for 15 years. I'm talking about they went the whole decade without winning the league. It's disgrace of the club, one of the third biggest football club in England. Not really challenging for the league. They won FA Cups in 2014, 2015, and 2017. That's it. But they missed out on a chance to win different competitions. They lost 2 League Cup finals. Like in 2011 against Birmingham City, and they got demolished by Man City in 2018. They just lost a European final, another European final. Yeah, they lost to Barcelona in 2006. They lost to Chelsea this year. They got demolished by Chelsea in Baku. They had an opportunity to win their first European trophy since 1994. 25 years since the last time Arsenal won a European trophy, and it's disgusting and disgrace. With Arsene Wenger, fans, complain about Arsene Wenger for years. I totally agree. Understand, he was a great manager. He made them competitive in the late '90s all the way to the 2000s. I understand that, but he's kind of like part of the problem. Not going to spend money, attempt to rebuild the club, or rebuild the team, and trying to compete with the Uniteds, the Chelseas, and the Man Cities. All he cares about is basically just qualifying for a Champions League. That's why we had enough. And also, you're selling our best players. Van Persie, Fabregas, Song, Clichy, Nasri, Sanchez. To the two Manchester clubs. Sell the Song to Barcelona, Fabregas to Barcelona. Buying some, the defense is worse. This is Arsenal's worst defense. What's the last time Arsenal had a worse defense? I know, like back in if you go to the '80s and '90s, you had the famous back four, back five with Adams, Winterburn, Dixon, Keogh, and then I talked about the invincible back line with Laurent, Ashley Cole, Sol Campbell, Kolo Touré. That was a good defense. Right now, for the last decade, you had like fucking Monreals, Mertesackers, Koscielny, Bellerins, Kolasinac. Socrates has been poor this season. David Luiz didn't really work out. Callum Chambers has been awful. Gabriel. I feel sorry for Tierney. Never got a fair opportunity with Arsenal. And and then you bought Mesut Ozil. Thought he's gonna be that great, but in reality, he's not. He had one good season. One good season. That was the 15-16 season. He was, with the most assists. That's it. One good season. He's never bringing any consistency. Look at Kevin De Bruyne. He's bringing consistency year in and year out. With Ozil, nah. He should have gone. I think, yeah, you had Unai Emery. I felt sorry for Emery. I think that Emery did not bought the players he want. And then you rely on the fucking Kolasinats and the Ozils and the Shakas. Instead of buying like players like Kante's and the world-class players who are good enough. Yeah, I understand they bought a Aubameyang and Lacazette. But it's just disgusting how this club never went a whole decade. And also, Stan Kroenke is a scumbag, let's be honest. He just doesn't really care about making Arsenal great again, trying to compete with the Uniteds, the Chelseas, the Man Cities, and even the Liverpool. The two best clubs right now in the Premier League are Manchester City and Liverpool. Kroenke, both Stan and Josh are the big problem. And heard rumors like fucking Raul, Salahani, and was it Finai? I'm not gonna pronounce his surname. They're kind of like becoming Kroenke's yes men instead of expiring the club, trying to say we will win we will win the league in the next decade, or even win the Champions League in the next decade. They just become Kroenke's yes men. What's the point of getting Kroenke out of the club? He's never in this country. He's in America. All he cares about is the fucking LA Rams. That's all he cares about. The LA Rams. Any sports team that Stan Kroenke owns failed. With the Rams got demolished by the Patriots at the Super Bowl this year. The Nuggets not doing well in the NBA. And Arsenal, they got spunked by Chelsea in the Europa League. He's not doing well with Arsenal either. Every sports team Stan Kroenke owns fell on his ass. I think Arsenal's biggest mistake is that leaving Highbury to go to the Emirates was a very bad mistake. They were never ready. Right now they're financially ready, but it cost them a decade. I think none of this wouldn't happen if they were in Highbury. At Highbury they were winning. They were competing. Arsenal was one of the best top 10 clubs in the world. Right now it's a laughingstock. So that's my 2 cents on it. So yeah, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button and subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. This is the Central Man officially signing out.